Every time you're in a fucking English class and you have to read a book and then analyze that book and talk about that book after, that's a book club. Hello friends, my name is Emily, I'm the bi, and here are some books off of my bookshelf. It's a new location, aka my actual bedroom. Here are the bookshelves that I stare at night. Since this video is coming out on Christmas, I decided to wear my Christmas sweater, which is a Game of Thrones sweater that I bought last year, which is really comfy and I like a lot even though the show is bad. Okay, so I'm gonna do this video in two parts. One is kind of an update to my end of the year TBR. Spoiler alert, it's not going hot. And the second part is the TBR I have built for January. Part the first. I have read two of the books from that TBR for the end of the year video that I made a couple of weeks ago, one of which was The Guinevere Deception, which I was already in the process of reading. It was very good. I will talk more about it later in another video. I also read Andrea Long Chu's Females, also very good. Again, I will talk about it later in another video. The same video is my guess. I have not finished the behemoth that is Donna Tartt's The Goldfinch. So I have about 250 or 260 pages left of this book, and Theo is just such a sad little boy. I haven't gotten to him being an adult yet, though I think we're about to time jump. But it's extremely good. It's a big boy, you know? It's literally almost 300,000 words. Fucking wild. Go off, Donna Tartt. God damn. So as of this video being recorded, I have not finished it, but when this video comes out, I'm hoping to have finished it, aka by Christmas. That is my goal. I am driving to Arizona to visit my mom the day after Christmas, and I don't want to fucking take this book with me to read while I'm there. I have other books I need to read while I'm there. So this book, hopefully by the time you're seeing this video, will be in my read pile. All I have to say is just pray for me, okay, thanks. The two books that I am going to take with me to Arizona and start, and I'm hoping I finish one of them. One of them is way bigger than the other, so that one I probably won't finish, but I need to start it at least. So the first book, which was in that TBR video, is Summer of Salt. Megan said that of all the books that I had left in my TBR, I should read this one because it goes by very fast and is a good read. So I was like, okay, so this is the one I'm bringing. I'm hoping to at least get halfway, if not finish it while I'm at my mom's. The other book is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So let's talk a little bit about this. So I joined Book of the Month Club finally, question mark? I don't know, but they have this beautiful edition of Red, White, and Royal Blue in, bitch, yeah, you're right, hardback, amazing. So I bought it, and whatever, they had like, oh, it's your first box / holiday sale, I don't know, and they still had Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo up, and so I got it for very cheap, and I was like, well, you know, what's all the hubbub about, guys? Just kidding. I have watched many people's reviews, and I know that lots of people are mixed about this book, but I've never read a Leigh Bardugo book, and I figured, let's just start with the one that everyone's like, shrug? The other reason that I am gonna start reading this now, even though it cuts weirdly into my January TBR, because my January TBR is themed, is because my friend Patches Plays Games, I will link her gaming channel down below, has started reading a lot more recently and joined Book of the Month Club as well, and we were talking about it, and she was like, oh yeah, I got Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I was like, oh, I also got that. Have you started it? If you haven't, do you want to buddy read it? All that to say, we are buddy reading it, which is very exciting because I don't think I've ever buddy read anything before. I think the last time I was reading a book at the same time as somebody on purpose was school, which does not count. That is a bad book club. So those are all my hopes and dreams. I will finish The Goldfinch this year no matter what. I'm hoping I finish it by Christmas. I want to finish The Summer of Salt, and I need to get a good chunk of the way through Ninth House before the end of the year, and those are my actual goals. Realistic. Are they? I think they are. I don't know. Part the second. So in January I decided that I wanted to read I wanted to be purposeful with my TBR because this year was the year that I kind of got back into reading pretty heavily, and I was like kind of just doing whatever super erratically, and I was like, nope, I need to focus a little bit, please. So I decided to make a themed TBR because why not? The theme for January is romance. Who'da thunk it? Romance in the heart of winter, you know? So all of the books, with the exception of Ninth House, I guess, that I'm planning on reading during January, not including any books that I kind of erroneously read outside of this. Here's hoping. I doubt I will read anything but these, but okay, go off. Anyway, all of these books are romance in some way. I have 3 comics that will definitely get read, and I know at least 2 of the novels. I have 6 books total on this TBR. The graphic novels and the comics will get read, and then at least 2 of the novels will get read because I can't imagine they won't be. And then I have a 3rd kind of erroneous novel that I would like to read pending things happening and time, etc. So I figured I would start with the comics first, and then we'll move on to the novels. First up is a classic for me, but I hadn't bought the 3rd one yet. Fence by C.S. McCat. I fucking love this goddamn series. Fence is a story of Nicholas, who wants to be a fencer and has kind of trained to get into this slightly elite boarding school where they have a fencing team that's like one of the best in the nation, and he has a rival named Senji, who is also a fencer, who's like one of the best fencers in the country. They're rivals, and they were roommates. And it's great, and you know that they're gonna make out, and it's so exciting. I don't know if they have yet, but God, I can't wait until they kiss for the first time. Whew. I love enemies to lovers romance, but more specifically, I love rivals to lovers romance. I think, for me at least, that tends to be a lot more true, or a lot more not out of the realm of possibilities, which I think is why I like it so much more, and that is this. Plus, there's a lot of like queer background romances going on with a lot of characters, so I mean, it's a romance sports comic that has rivals to lovers at some point in the future. How can you not love it? The second comic that I'm going to read is a comic that is from one of my favorite comic publishers, which is Iron Circus Comics, who usually do very smutty, porn-driven, sex-driven comics, but this one is just like, I think, a sweet romance that probably has some kissing, and it's called Meal. From the back of this, it seems like it's about a girl named Yarrow, who is a young chef who's been using like bugs and stuff in her cooking, and Chandra is like, hey, my people have been eating bugs for centuries, and like it's really aggressive that you're turning this kind of cultural thing into like a foodie trend. Enemies to lovers is my guess. Please, thank you. I also met the writer Blue at Cala, which is the Comic Arts LA festival that happens once a year. I volunteered this year. It was extremely fun. I got to meet some of my favorite artists. I got to meet Art Ronan, and what a sweet angel. He was so nice, and I bought so many comics from him. But I got to meet the writer for this comic, and they were extremely nice, and I can't wait to read it. They also wrote a short story in one of the Smut Peddler books that I bought also while I was there, which I have already read, and it was very good. Super good. So I'm excited to read the kind of tame romance that they wrote. It's gonna be so cute, and it's queer as hell. The next comic I'm going to read in the month of January is a book that I borrowed from my roommate, which is My Boyfriend is a Bear. This is from Oni Press, and I know nothing about it other than the fact that it's about a girl who is named Nora, who is apparently unlucky in love, living in Los Angeles, and goes on a hike and meets a bear who becomes her boyfriend. Don't really know how I'm gonna feel about this or how this is gonna go. My guess is I'll probably find it very sweet but weird, which, you know, is a little bit my brand, so I'm excited. The art is extremely cute. Okay, so the 2 novels that will 110% actually get read during the month of January are these. One is American Queen by Sierra Simone, which is the first in the new Camelot series, which I believe is a trilogy, and then she has like 1 or 2 short stories or novellas within that, one of which is also a slight crossover with Thornchapel, which is the other books that she wrote that I am obsessed with. Oh my god. Can't wait for Harvest of Sighs, which comes out March? Question mark? I don't know. There's not an actual date, and I am stoked about it. So until I can get more Thornchapel, I'm gonna read this series. Also, fucking hell, nobody told me that Sierra Simone wrote a fucking Arthurian myth retelling, and it's hot. I mean, I don't know if it's actually hot, but like, she writes sex, so like, She writes fucking erotica. So I'm just like, why did no one tell me this? Wild. I had to find this out on Amazon? What's happening? Anyway, this is about a girl who is not named Guinevere, but her name is Greer. I don't understand why people always want to change Arthurian character names. It really drives me fucking up a wall. Anyway, everyone's fucking names are different, but I'm very excited about this. It has a male-male female romance. Very exciting. At least 2 of the characters are bisexual, and sounds great. Can't wait. I bought it and the other book that I'm definitely going to read during January at the small business Saturday sale that Ripped Bodice in Culver City had, and let me tell you that this book has been staring at me for literally all of December from this fucking bookshelf on the top of it, and I'm like, God, I really just want to read it. What would happen if I just read it? And then I just had to shut myself down because no, you have to read it in January when you read all the fucking romance. So this is 110% getting read. I honestly think it'll probably get read in, my guess is less than a week. So maybe I'll do a reading vlog for it. Probably not, but who knows? I just like, I'm so fucking excited. And there's 2 other books and I like kind of read the plot synopsis for them because like, who cares? And you know what? Seems fucking wild. Can't wait to read them. I have a feeling that there's probably nothing in this book that will dissuade me from wanting to read the other 2, so can't wait. So the other book that is 110% getting read during the month of January is Christina Lauren's Twice in a Blue Moon. I also bought this book while I was at Ripped Bodice for Small Business Saturday. I bought it because honestly, of all the Christina Lauren books that were present at the Ripped Bodice on that day, this seemed like the most interesting, and I have been wanting to read Christina Lauren for a long time. I know that a lot of people kind of flip-flop back and forth on their adult books, but I figured I would give them a shot because I really want to read autobiography, and if I like their writing style, then I have a plethora of adult romance, plus at least 1 queer YA book that I can kind of dip into whenever I want some like fluffy romance in my life. So I'm hoping that I like this book. I'm also, and here's why I know it's gonna get read, buddy reading this with my best friend Megan, who also just like randomly had it. I sent her a snap and was like, here are the books I bought while I was at the Ripped Bodice. And she was like, oh, I also have that one. Do you want to buddy read it? And I was like, yeah, let's do a tiny book club of 2. So for the second time in my life, other than school, I will be book clubbing it up. School is not a book club, but like it is. Like they make it a book club, you know? That's weird. I don't like that. Okay, the final book that is on my January TBR of like, these are the things I would like to read is kind of a wild card because it kind of depends on both how much time I have at the end of the month / whenever I get books read during the month. And then also it depends on how well I like Twice in a Blue Moon because it's another Christina Lauren book. It's My Favorite Half Night Stand, which, you know, sounds interesting, but also has the premise of like, I'm tricking you into thinking I'm someone else, which doesn't seem great, but who knows? This was also something similar that I found in Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, which I like okay. The premise still kind of irks me, and I think that will probably be the same with this book whenever I get to it, which will hopefully be in January. But the premise and like the contrivance of the thing doesn't seem great in terms of like accountability, but maybe the book I will just generally think is okay, even if the entire conceit kind of sits poorly with me. So we'll see. I'm hoping I have time and that I like Twice in a Blue Moon, because if I like Twice in a Blue Moon, then I will probably want to devour this and kind of see how this one stacks up against it. But those are all my reading plans for January, plus probably the second half of Ninth House. LOL, what? Wild. But I'm hoping all of that kind of goes well and I get through at least 5 of those 6 books, even if I don't get to the second Christina Lauren book. I will definitely make it through, I think I will definitely make it through 5 of them, which is fun. I love knowing. Seriously though, as soon as it fucking hits midnight on fucking New Year's, I'm just gonna start reading this goddamn book. I'm so fucking excited. It's like all the things I love. Oh man, I can't believe no one told me.